Welcome to the video for valuation of bonds and shares. In this video, we'll look at an example of yield to maturity. Maxus Corporation has a bond issue outstanding with 8 years remaining to maturity. So we don't know when this bond was issued in the market, but it is still operational and it has 8 years remaining to maturity. So it may originally have been, let's say, 10, 12-year bond, but from today's date, it has 8 years remaining to maturity. Now the coupon rate is 10% with interest paid annually and a par value of rupees 1000. So the face value or the par value of the bond is 1000 rupees. So interest of 10% will be paid on the face value. If the current market price of the bond issue is 814.45 rupees, what is the yield to maturity? So basically, if you buy the bond today, you will have to pay an amount of 814.45 rupees. So on this amount, what is the yield to maturity? So let me note down the information that has been given to us. So the face value or the par value of the bond has been given to us as 1000 rupees. The coupon rate or the interest rate is 10%. Remaining time to maturity is 8 years. Current market price is 814.45 rupees. And we are assuming that at maturity, the redeemable value of this bond is the par value, which is 1000 rupees. So let's try and put this data on a timeline. So here I am assuming that the total tenure of this bond was 10 years because we do not know when this bond was issued. However, we know that from the current date, the time remaining to maturity is 8 years. So let's say if the total tenure of the bond was 10 years, then today we are at the beginning of the third year. So basically the time remaining to maturity will be 10 years. And today's market price of this bond is 814.45 rupees. So if we have to buy this bond, we'll have to shell out 814.45 rupees. I'll put a negative sign showing that this is an outflow from our pocket. Now, at the end of every year for the next 8 years, the interest going to be received will be 10% of the face value. So 10% of 1000 will be equal to 0.1 into 1000, which is equal to 100 rupees. So at the end of every year, the investor will receive 100 rupees for the next 8 years. And at maturity, the investor will receive 1000 rupees plus 1000. This is the maturity value. Now we have to find out that if the investor buys this bond at 814.45 rupees, and if he is going to get this amount of cash flow for the next 8 years, then what is his rate of return or yield to maturity? So in order to find out the yield to maturity, we will have to find out the rate at which the present value of the cash inflows is equal to the present value of the cash outflow or the investment. So let's do that. So we'll have to find out the present value. Now the present value will be the value at today's time. So even though the bond was issued 2 years prior, but we are evaluating the present value because we are evaluating whether we should be buying the bond or not. And that decision would be taken at the yield to maturity. So if the rate of return or the yield to maturity is good enough, then you will buy the bond. If it is not, then you will decide not to buy the bond. So all the calculations will be done based on today. So here let's say this is PV1, this will be PV2, and then we'll have this will be PV7, PV8 and PV9, because they are total 8 years remaining, and at the 8th year we have two amounts, 100 and 1000. So basically the present value of the bond, let's say B0, is equal to PV1 plus PV2 plus PV3 plus and so on plus PV8 plus PV9, or P0 is equal to, now present value will be INT divided by 1 plus yield to maturity to the power 1 plus INT divided by 1 plus yield to maturity to the power 2, so on, plus PV8 will be INT divided by, INT is the interest, which is basically 100 rupees, divided by 1 plus yield to maturity to the power 8, plus PV9 will be the present value of the maturity value. So M divided by 1 plus YTM to the power 8. So let us plug in the values. So or, now the present value of the bond is given to us as 814.45. So this is equal to, interest amount is 100 divided by 1 plus YTM to the power 1 plus 100 divided by 1 plus YTM square plus 100 divided by 1 plus YTM to the power 8 plus, now maturity value is 1000 divided by 1 plus YTM to the power 8. So here we have to find the value of yield to maturity. Now this can be found out using trial and error method. Now let us plug in the value of YTM as 14%. So let's calculate the right hand side. If the right hand side with 14% comes out to be equal to the left hand side, that means this answer is correct. So RHS will be equal to 100 divided by 1 plus 0.14 plus 100 divided by 1 plus 0.14 square, so on, plus 100 divided by 1 plus 0.14 to the power 8 plus 1000 divided by 1 plus 0.14 to the power 8. So this is equal to 100 divided by 1.14 plus 100 divided by 1.14 square plus 100 divided by 1.14 to the power 8 plus 1000 divided by 1.14 to the power 8. Now this can be solved in multiple ways. I'll consider this part as an annuity and use the formula for the annuity, which is A into 1 by I minus 1 divided by I into 1 plus I to the power n plus 1000 divided by 1.14 to the power 8. So the annuity amount is the interest amount, which is 100. I is the yield to maturity, which is 14%. 1 divided by 0.14 minus 1 divided by 0.14 into 1.14 to the power n. N is 8 plus 1000 divided by 1.14 to the power 8. So this comes out to be 463.886 plus 350.56, which is equal to 814.446. Now the left hand side is equal to 814.45, which is pretty much the same as 814.446 rupees. So this is the right answer, that is 14%. Let's validate this answer by using another method, which is to use the financial calculator. So for using the financial calculator, we have to take care of 5 main buttons. N, which is 8. I needs to be found out. PV is equal to 814.45. Now this will be negative because this is an outflow. PMT, which is the annuity amount, is 100. This will be positive because this is an inflow into our pocket. And future value is the maturity value, which is 1000. This is also positive. So the way to use the financial calculator is to first enter the value and then let the calculator know what that value is for. So 8 is N. 8 1 4.45, change sign. This is present value. 100 is payment. 1000 is the FV, future value, and now we have to find out I. So this comes out to be 13.99, which is pretty much the same as 14%. So using financial calculator, we get I is equal to 13.99%, or basically 14%. Now you can also use the present value factor of an annuity. I have covered the correction here, remove the words. I have covered that. I have covered that concept also in the previous videos.